Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for some of you, and hello to anybody else who has joined us now that we are switching over to the EU side. I think things are going a little bit differently over here. Obviously, we have NiP versus iGame. It is going to be a best of one, if I am not mistaken, and joining me for this one will be Mr. Hugo.
Hello, I'm glad to be back, and we're going back to the classical train as we did have in the previous matchup as well. An interesting one. Honestly, a lot of people probably coming into this just looking at the teams going, oh yeah, and NiP easy, but I don't think it's going to be that simple. But NiP obviously have proven to be a great team time and again. They're in a bit of a slump as of late, so coming into this matchup, it's definitely not a clean victory for them, but again, we are going into train, which is an interesting matchup because this isn't too bad of a map for NiP, so could go either way. I want to know your predictions though before we head into this game.
I'm scared to predict anything like this after what happened to them at the last one. Vega Squadron, memories, flashbacks. I still think I have to stick with the Swedes, even with the sort of slump that they're in. I think obviously they didn't have as bad a slump online as, say, the likes of VP, so still going to go with them for this one, but I definitely don't think it'll be as clear-cut as anything of like a sort of top team versus a sort of mid-tier team. I think iGame definitely have a good chance in this one.
I'm going to be entertaining. I'm going to pick iGame just to see what happens, but I'm going to start off the round with Exist Towards Heaven. He's going to be holding down for the upper push, and the iGame just bursting out onto this B site. It seems actually not going to even be committing as they back off. Ninjas in Pajamas, assuming this is a fast B, going to pre-rotate that player, Freiberg, down towards the connector to try and join them, but with no play coming out, they might actually force him back in towards this A side of the map, leaving just Exist alone. But it's clear that they're still hitting towards it. Just taking their time, it seems. No one getting aggressive for the side of NiP, very patient. And it's clear that iGame are just waiting for this CT aggression for them to try and get an early pick off, but the smoke does come down. Freiberg tapping through the smoke, great shot there on the Sagacon, and they are just going to burst out onto the site. Bomb should be down in just a second, and a 5-on-5 retake from NiP.
Already Freiberg, nice shot, managing to get back one at least, and well, Zori going to be left with Sort. Bomb attempting to go down, but it's not to be, and the last player left out at the moment. Not going to work at all. It's going to be the round going to NiP. So, nice start from them. P90 even, forget right, an old classic. The rest of the team just going to be sticking with Umps and a FAMAS.
Yep, as you would expect here. Been a while since I've seen Get Right pull out the P90, especially on all maps of Train. Usually he was playing towards the B ramp area with a shotgun or P90, but he's actually not going to go there. Finally backs off towards this side of the map, so maybe we will see him go for that classic get right aggression on that ramp. Nothing coming in just yet. iGame is set up once again outside of the B side of the map, but also towards Pop Dog. In this position, they can split inside of A, but with no utility, it's going to mean their options are fairly limited. No smoke down the B ramp and no smokes to hold off the connector or in the Ivy as they try and peek down and get this pick on the B side. Nothing will come their way. Get Right and Exist just waiting for any sign of a commitment from iGame.
They're just sticking together for the most part, at least. Got one man who are going to be going over towards that Ivy spot, but the CT side haven't really done too much themselves. They're just waiting. Draken with a little bit of aggression can spot into A main as they actually look to rotate further into his direction. This could work wonderfully if he's able to get things done with that trusty UMP in play. They don't have much utility to play with either, so they can't really spot him out. It's going to come down to whether he can hit the shots, and he can't. And in fact, they've lost another teammate on the other side of the map. The T side are going to go exploding into the site. Forest at least there to deny one. Sagaton continues his run, but Zori's got his back, and this is all falling apart now for the CT side. Exist, the last one left will fall, and that's 1-1.
Great round, keeping 3 alive as well. They actually have a lot of money now coming into this one. The NiP, on the other hand, they're going to have to force things up. Pistols, armor, HG going on Forest, and Exist going to play it safe with the kit. That's one of the things about one of these teams like NiP, the teams with a long history of playing this game, is they always play it safe. They always go for a default buy in the sense that they always have a kit. They're going for these kind of rounds. A lot of teams will just typically be those aim stars who just want to take all the fights. But we have the roles on NiP. We have the Exist, get the kit, get a bit of utility. Don't just play for the aim battles. Either way, still possible for them to pick up this pistol round. Although I feel like I could say that every single round, so that's kind of a done deal. Every round is possible in this game. That's the crazy thing about it. As iGame, again, set up outside of the Pop Dog. Players this time ready to throw smokes over through A. A bit more pressure down towards B. It's going to be from 7. Looking for this pickup. Does it exist? Pushing aggressively, but he runs out of ammo. Has to fall on back.
Bit more passive now from iGame. Making sure they play this patiently. Don't want to basically make the mistakes that their opponent did in the previous round, just getting caught out by these pistols. Now how effective they really can be. Still going to play 3 players over towards the sort of back side of the map, using the range they have on those deagle. Smokes will now begin to be thrown in, and actually Zori doesn't seem to spot the first, but at least takes down Draken, pushing further forward, and he's just cleaning things up at the moment. Seems like the CT side will not have the same luck that we saw on the opposing, as Zori just cleans up another. They try and go for the boost. Get right pushing in, manages 1. But it is looking like nothing can be done. Exist, again, the last one left alive, the rotator from the B site. He's going to have to fight this alone.
Not even fight this, just hold on to the gun. iGame take a near flawless round. I can imagine some chasing coming out as well, especially with these SMGs. iGame a very aggressive team. Already started to push out of the site, but not too far. Sagaton's just holding the B halls here to see if Exist comes his way, and he will indeed. Gonna spot him in just a second. There's the headshot, and that'll be the round. So iGame pick up another one. That's 2-1 now. As you can see, NiP now with no money to play with, it will just be the full eco. I wouldn't even like to see a P250 invested here. Just go for the stick on just full USPs, maybe a flashbang to burst himself into a site, but even then they are on the CT side, so not as much pressure to go aggressive. You can kind of just hold off a default, maybe go for some kind of stack. Could work out.
Yeah, and well, that's exactly what they're going to do. Just aggressive push over towards this B site. 3 players, in fact, towards upper. Just at least going to try and tap away at one of these players. You can already see Zuri just waiting on the other side, expecting some sort of aggression. They have players all over the map, just making sure that they can't be flanked in any way, shape, or form. B site does have a lot more angles that can work very, very well, and Saw is going to make the first move, obviously sitting there with his UMP, looking to at least farm up a little bit of cash. A lot of players on the other side of that wall, and actually he's going to have to switch over to the Tech 9. It seems like he does have support, however, from Sagaton, but still, a couple of frags going the way of the CT side will at least, well, stunt even the money that will be made by those UMPs. Not able to, in fact, get any kills with them, and, well, X7 gets one just as I mention it.
Draken lost alive. Not going to be able to get anything done. 7 closes him out. Plenty of cash there farmed with the SMGs. And 3 rounds to 1 for iGame on the C side. A good start, but again, not getting too worried for NiP. This is early days. We've had these 2 anti-ecos. Now we head into the buy. This is where it gets dangerous if NiP falls short. They don't pick up these kind of rounds. It's, well, it's a bit upsetting because iGame are going to have a lot of T-side rounds. Either way, get right back on that famous P90 here. One of the few players to really utilize it consistently. He is going to be pushed up towards that pop dog. He's wrong. You're not a fan, Ethan.
I'm not a fan of the P90. Doesn't make as much money and doesn't even really do as much damage. So I'm not sure why. But then again, only one of us is a pro player, so I can't really talk too much about the P90. We'll see if it can work out for a man who is renowned in Counter-Strike. Maybe he can prove me wrong. I'm kind of hoping he does, because I would love to see it come back into play. I miss it, but it isn't as effective as it used to be. And while pushing the B site, someone who has to be effective is Exist. UMP, he's got the right idea, but he's got lots of players pushing in his direction. Will at least go for the 1-for-1 trade, which over on this B site isn't the worst case scenario. Get right with that P90, trying to play a sort of lurker role, sneak in from behind. Does have to be a little bit careful as there is Juho around the other side of the map. Pushes through. P90 versus AWP. P90 takes the victory. But the UMP in the meantime has found another, tapping the bomb. Maybe it is the right weapon to use as he's already got himself a couple. The push will come back in. It's a 1 versus 2.
Utility all expended now. It's all down to aim. No one's on the bomb just yet. Only 1 kill on Draken. He needs to stick it if he's going to go on it, but the flank is coming out from upper. They're going to be coming through, but Forrest is no longer committed as Draken falls down. He's dead on the site, and no time left for Forrest. He has to chase the kill, but he can't get away with it. Yuho picks up a 1v3. And iGame, that's the 4th round of the board. They lose 4 players, but who cares? They pick up the round. And that gives them a lot more money, a lot more opportunity to get into this matchup. As NiP should not be forcing here. They can get a bit of utility, a bit of weaponry, some armor. That's going to be it. Quad nade, 5-man nade, maybe some kind of ramp play could be coming out here. We see most of them going through the connector though, so maybe towards the A side of the map into A main, but still holding on to a bit of this utility, maybe saving it for a rainy day as iGame have all the weaponry to work with once again. These Deagles, the P250s are going to be all that NiP can really show up into this round. You're not expecting too much.
Already losing the first man. They want to at least try and do some damage to this T side. They managed to get it down to just one player. Yuho doing all the work that flank in the end last round. It seems like in this one though, nothing is going their way. Clean up. Nice little transfer. And that'll be 5-1 T side. iGame looking very, very strong. But now we get to see Draken on the AWP. Someone I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I feel like people don't give as much credit to cool transfers like that. That was a great transfer from Yuho. Clearly put a lot of time into it. I'd say I'm okay at spray control, but that is just something I could never do that. It's so pixel perfect. Such at range as well. Great work. Only anti-eco, but it's just impressive individual mechanics. But now, as you say, the buy, Draken posted on ramp. Just holding on to this angle, waiting for the pick so he can fall on back, allow NiP to take that man advantage, but no one's speaking from iGame just yet. He starts to cross, but he misses a shot, flicking back and forth as the tagged at least comes in from Zori. Lots of damage done. So now he's down to 26, and iGame sitting pretty for the time being, with no losses just yet. They have got these players set up outside of Ivy for the potential push. Combining with the potential push coming in through A main as well, iGame aren't in too bad of a spot. It's just going to come down to whether they can get those entries on the, when they push out onto the site.
Counter utility beginning to be expended by NiP. Definitely need to get themselves on the board now. Otherwise, this really could just start to swing way out of control. Definitely not as CT-sided as it used to be, but 5-1 T half thus far is definitely not the way they wanted to start things off. Now the push will begin to come in. Ivy presence wants to push through the mid-trades, but Forest is there. Freiburg as well, already finding the first couple of kills. Trades not coming back too effectively, but Sagaton, he's able to get one alongside Zori with the AWP, and they brought it back to an almost even scenario. The thing they don't have on their side is the time exist. It's going to be blinded, gets taken down, jumps up, gives the pick over. And now there's a good chance for this bomb to go down. Actually planted in a position which could have been denied. Draken going to go round, and there's nothing he can do. From the depths of nothing, iGame win again. Every clutch going their way. And NiP a 6-1 down.
But I'm not sure what Exist was trying to do, jumping up onto that train. There's no benefit to doing that. He can reach position, but he's in an angle where no one is watching. He can just hold on to his spot. No need to expose himself to the whole of the site. And that single-handedly gives away the round. There was simply no time. If iGame tried to plant in that same position, he would have jumped over and killed them. So NiP now, again, and Eco coming in. Low investment. iGame really bringing the heat here. This is what I said. This is the upset potential of this matchup is so high. iGame is such a great team, and I'm glad I predicted them, because so far it seems like I'm going to be correct. But let's see. Got a long road ahead of us, but 6 rounds T-side train, Tom. They've already done their job, and we're 8 rounds in.
Ready. Again. Whole lot invested for NiP, gone for the Deagles. Doing their best to, again, try and make things costly, but, well, every single player, 6 grand and above for the T side at this point. They'll just keep it that way, really. Hey, Diva gonna dunk straight onto Forest. And out of nowhere, he's down. Draken will be able to finish one off at least. And, well, now he's the only one left alive. Just trying to fall back. Doesn't even look like he'll be able to retrieve that rifle, which is unfortunate. Obviously, they will have plenty of money, max loss bonus, in their pockets already. But this is just mad already. iGame, like, it's not that surprising, but at the same time, NiP, they're a team that you just put with, like, legendary status. And look at how far they're going to have to go through this qualifier. This is, like, one of the beginning stages. They're not even at the qualifier yet. They've got to go through the minor.
Format. This is a Swiss format as well, which means they lose 3 best of 1s and they're gone. They're out. See ya. They don't even make it to the minor, let alone the major qualifier. And if they do make it to the minor, Tom, if they make it all the way to the minor, how many teams are going to be there? It's an insane amount of talented teams. There's no way that this bracket can go that allows bad teams at the minor because it's a Swiss format. It's crazy how much competition there's going to be. So, to be honest, I'll make a bold prediction now. I don't think we're going to see NiP at the major qualifier, let alone the major. We may see them at the minor, but past that, no. I just don't think there's a hope in hell, to be honest. The way they've been playing recently.
The wrath of the fans are going to be coming away soon.
They can come my way any day. They can when NiP start playing well, maybe they can start saying something. I'm going to ignore them until that day happens, but let's see. Maybe they can come back here. The game's not over.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely not over.
Yeah, of course.
Just got to get going soon.
Yeah.
A lot of utility expended again, down to flashes and incendiary grenades. Once again, it looks like iGame are just setting up for this trusty A take. Hasn't failed them yet, so I don't see why they wouldn't. Grenades will go out to slow down any Ivy presence that can come in. Already, majority of players are going to be making their way out towards that Pop Dog and Amen spot. Smoke giving a little bit of an advantage to get right. Will take one, but it's quickly traded back into what was a 4v4, but Forest has managed one. Zori not going to be able to trade that back. They only have 30 seconds now to make their way forward onto this site, and it looks like this time NiP have stunted them. Freiburg with another, turns around and finishes off X7 as well, and this time NiP will convert after a long break from the board. 7 rounds in a row. NiP, they get themselves a second.
Yeah, they just got to watch out. The main issue now is the reset potential. iGame have money to fall back on. If they pick up this next buy round, NiP's money is going to be in 1,400 loss bonus. That could be a crushing defeat there. So NiP need to pick up a 2 in a row. They need to wrap some together. That's the most important factor here for the CT side. Either way, plenty of utility for either side. iGame seem to be setting up a couple of flashes, bits and bobs towards A. Not committing for anything just yet, but trying to give at least Zori a little bit of a chance to pick out kill over towards A. Nothing will come his way, though, as it seems iGame are just going to establish his default early on, wait for NiP to make that first move. But at least they're repositioning Draken every round, which is something that I like to see. Not putting him in the same spot, not just holding off towards B ramp. This time he's over on Ivy, waiting for any kind of aggression from the iGame side. And that's something versatile that you need. An AWP needs to be able to move around. If you just put him on the same spot every single round, he's going to become predictable. And NiP at least doing that.
Looking like iGame are going to make their way back over towards the B site. This time, 2 players, one in the connector, ready for a quick rotate to A if necessary, but it seems like the smoke is going to mean that Get Right, well, he actually gets close to it. Trying to play around his teammate, both very, very close together. Still got Yuho again. Now, last time they hit B, he had to 1v3 clutch, so clearly it didn't go too well. They still managed to get that round. Now they're going to go pushing, and already Get Right is gone. They're going to just completely decimate the players on the site. Forest is quick to rotate at least, and the rest of the team are going to get back in, but they're losing lives. And there's only 2 players left. Forest is one of them. He's managed to catch Saw, but they've already got players in behind them, and it looks like Draken is just out of there. His teammate's in the middle of the site, and he's decided, I want to keep my ult.
Dear oh dear. Round going to iGame, and there he is. There we go. That is it. The reset that we talked about. iGame now going to put NiP back down to $1,400 on the loss bonus. And while they have a little bit of money to fall back on, alongside this AWP, they may be able to actually get a bit of an investment together. They should be able to buy in theory. Oh, maybe not now, but I mean they can get something together. It'd just be a bit of a weird round. NiP are now in a really uncomfortable spot after losing that one. And a pause is going to be called. I can barely blame them. 1 minute on the clock for them to work out what's going wrong. Bit of this, bit of that, but mostly everything.
Yeah, to be honest, a lot of the strategies we've seen from iGame haven't been anything too in-depth. Most of the time it's been aggressive pushes coming out onto the A site, and even just individually, they look like they're taking them man for man. Impressive stuff from Zori as well with the AWP. I think the only real, like, major bit of sort of strategy has been when Yuho came in on the flank for that B take. Well, it feels like a long time ago now, but other than that, it's just been good fundamentals of Counter-Strike and being able to pick apart a lot of what the CTs have been doing. And also, you have to remember, every time that NiP have sort of been winning a round, or let's say losing a round, they're going straight back to pistols, then they have a buy, then pistols, then buy. So it's just doubling up the amount of rounds that iGame are able to get. And when they finally win one, they instantly lose it back. Now, by the looks of things, they're not going to be overly investing into this one, saving quite a bit of their money, buying a few pistols up. and just waiting to try and get back into the next round. And I imagine that Freiburg is going to save the majority of his cash so he can actually buy an AWP for Draken as well. So they're going to have a buy in the next round. I don't think it's going to be the best one that they could get. Obviously, utility will be a little bit of a miss. And just as the utility will be in this round, the read, they've gone for a gamble. They've tried A site, but it's the B site where every single T currently sits.
That's just unlucky at that point, isn't it? What can you do? I hope for some aggression from NiP, though, because the fact they got the stack on means they can push up into places like Pop Dog. And if we see a commitment up here, there's no hold. They'll have, you know, the complete flank for free. They should hear the nades going down on the B site now. So assuming that, you know, the ones from planted NiP are going to chase these kills, get exits, try and do some damage and hold on to some rifles, but there's no way that they can win this round. There's no way they can get the retake. It's just if they can get some damage off and take some guns away from iGame. But not a single point of damage has been done so far this round. Actually, yeah, I say that. 7's down to 99 thanks to a nade. And
99.
Yeah.
They're just holding for exits. Obviously, any weapon they could save would be so valuable, just enabling them to get some extra utility, but all exiting as a team. These are going to go pushing. Have to be a little bit careful. Forest at least going to do a bit of damage. Draken, in fact, even just going to save his Kevlar, which perfectly fine by me. Just keep that into the next round. I imagine he'll be dropped an AWP. There we go. Yep, Freiburg keeps that as well. Get Right even going to go with the SMG to make sure they can have some utility. I don't think this buy is going to be anywhere near as bad as it could have been, but again, if they lose this round, they're only going to have 2,400, and then iGame have 10 on the T side of train. This is madness.
The reason NiP have so much money here is they kept 4 players alive in that one round that they won. I mean, the rebuys weren't too bad. Saved a little bit more cash than exists, starting things off. Does take down Sagaton towards B. A nice pickup early on. And look at this aggression as well from NiP. They've got 2 players in Pop Dog. Holding this control is going to be Get Right to face. Yuho gets dropped and Draken will take down 7 in the meantime. So actually some damage done by NiP. They have a great round ahead of them. A 5-on-2. iGame stuck now. Caught in the heaven. They can split down towards B, but not with Draken in position there. And look at the bomb rolling, tumbling down the ramp. It's going to be here for the CT side. There's no way Saul can retrieve that without exposing himself. But actually, the CT start to back off. Draken repositioning, and this should be it. But no, caught with his knife back. Existal trade, and they pick up another round. 4 staying alive, so keeping the money here.
Yeah, if they get to 6 or even 5, it's still possible off the back of a pistol. But they cannot lose this next one. They have quite a few players surviving. Once again, when they do win a round, it's actually relatively clean. Only 1 player being dropped. But they just won't have the money again. It will be one of those situations where they have to save one and go with some pistols, or just fully invest off the back of whatever they kept from the previous round. Now a speed up in play. The T's, they've thrown out an awful lot of utility. Look at Get Right's position, though. So close. Will they expect him to be here? By the looks of it, no, but Forrest is taking the brunt of that duel in the meantime. And now with the smoke going down, Get Right just sort of looks like he's in no man's land. And look at the frags.
Oh my
Either
God.
side, 3 go the way of this T, and they have taken the B site.
Yep, only Draken and Get Right remain. Draken far, far away, and Get Right even getting out of the position as well, moving away. They've got a bit of money to fall back in the hands of Get Right and Freiburg, but again, the reset comes in, so $1,400 on the loss. Really nothing to play with. I mean, they should be buying up after this round if they keep 2 players alive, because not only can Get Right drop, but Freiburg will have 3,400. So assuming they keep 2 players, this could be a buy. Either way, though, iGame, I imagine, are going to chase a little bit. But now they're down to 3 themselves. There's no real reason to, lose another man and potentially impact your economy negatively. But they know if they take 1 more rifle out of the hands of NiP, they can actually stunt their growth completely. So 10 rounds, not 4 rounds for NiP. I was surprised by iGame picking that up. 10 rounds to iGame, 2 more left of the half, and NiP hold on to 2 rifles, so we should see a buy.
Yeah, and it was getting to the point anyway where even if iGame lose all of their players, there's only a couple of rounds left anyway, so they're just going to have the rebuys. Won't be too much of a problem for them. They don't take anybody down, so as said, NiP will have a buy off the back of 2 UMPs. AK being saved as well, and plus that trusty AWP, at the moment at least, exists solo on that B site. Hasn't had a particularly good game so far, but then NiP in general just haven't been able to get too much done. Had a lot of close-ish rounds where sort of the duels, the clutches have all gone the way of iGame. And in fact, when they have finally won rounds, they've actually been very, very clean. T-side, again, they're looking like they're setting up once more for this A take. It has been very successful, so not surprising that this is what they seem to fall back to quite often. Even getting in with the cross so that when Freiburg peeks back, he may not be expecting a player. But instead, he's just going to smoke it off. And, well, we can just see them just waiting. Hoping, in effect, that NiP will go for some sort of aggression and they can get that pick early on.
This is definitely looking like an A commitment, though. Draken posted. Going to spot him. Nice shot there. Takes down Zori. Looking in for a second. He spots Saul crossing as well to the other side of main, but the smoke goes down, allowing Saul a bit of control. He can move out onto this site without too much pressure. The Molotov forcing Draken away, and Forrest will take another man advantage for NiP as they put themselves into a 5-on-3. Freiburg playing close. While the smoke is down, Yuho looks like he's ready to walk out from the Ivy position. He's got a bit of support as well in the hands of Sakaton, but Freiburg takes the first. Trade eventually comes in, but not after 2 kills, as Yuho is now stuck in a 1v4. He's going to need the ace in 20 seconds to win this round. Forrest is not going to let that happen. NiP pick up a 4th, and it seems like the only rounds that NiP win, they keep so many players alive, but the rounds that they lose, they just get absolutely dominated straight off the bat. So it seems that the fast rounds iGame are actually picking up seem to be far more successful.
At least that 5 marker, still possible. As we've seen iGame, so much money, they're going to have a full buy going into this final round, and are really just looking to add insult to injury by getting an 11th once more. Looking like they're trying to burst out of A main relatively quickly. Freiburg going to smoke off this Ivy spot, knowing that they're likely to peek. Forrest goes aggressive, doesn't catch the player he was initially going for, and although X7 just going to run out and trade. Sheer aggression from this man. Freiburg, he's there, but again, it's back to this 3 versus 3 exist trying to come in through the back lines, but at the moment, it seems both teams have stopped.
Oh, sorry. Spotted there. They're still playing close to electric as well, so it's difficult, but Exist is dropped by 7 as Get Right takes down Zori. The AWP removed, the bomb dropped, and a minute left on the clock for 7 rounds a corner. Nice second kill, takes down Get Right. It's all onto Draken on 1v2. He has the time on his hands to play with, and he spots 7's head. They haven't crossed to get the bomb just yet, and this great peak, okay, Draken. Second time we've seen someone from NiP jump up on the train and fall short. It will be iGame to pick up the round, 11-4. That is the halftime in their favour, and very dominantly so, considering this is Train.
Yeah, that's an incredible half coming out from iGame, and just sort of, it is weird. It is weird the way that I'm pretty sure almost every round, maybe excluding the... No, actually, that is really weird. Every round NiP won, they had 4 players alive. That's
crazy.
Just odd. And they won 4 rounds. It's a conspiracy. The Illuminati has been confirmed. And, well, they need the pistol. That's without a doubt. They need to get themselves that pistol. They don't want to hand over that early CT economy to iGame. They've got some utility, potentially to hold off that connector when pushing over towards B, or for the after plant positions. And considering where Exist is currently playing, I imagine it's going to be that door bounce.
Yeah, fast play. Bomb will be going down straight away. iGame just fully playing for retake here. Again, this is a map that they are very good at, so I'm sure this was a purposeful CT setup. Draken pushed up aggressively. Sagaton will spot him. And aggression from Freiburg trying to chase down these kills, but we see the CT start moving in. Damage has been done, and no kills onto NiP just yet. The time is being whittled away. They do have the kit set up, but 7 coming in for another 2 kills. Make it maybe 3, but Get Right trades. They still have the Molotov, and then smoke is not going to be found over on the CT side. This should be NiP's round. They should be able to close it out with that molly going down on the bomb, but it's all on Exist. The smoke puts out the molly. Sakaton goes down. They haven't picked up the kit. Back towards the edge of CT spawn, and Saul will just be jumping on the defuse. It's 10 seconds, but he's going to get away with it. 3 left, and oh no, he's just falling short. I thought they had it, but iGame take it away, and NiP are going to pick up a 5th.
Well, it doesn't get much closer than that. 2 seconds. Well, maybe it does, but still, just so close in the terms of the players surviving. Exist just does enough to deny them. And not having that kit on the final player definitely hurts them. Now, I think it is always iGame. They're one of the teams that likes to do this. They want to make sure that going into their buy rounds, they always have all the utility that they desire. They have the kits. They have the incendiaries. So they're a team that's quite happy to not fully invest in these sort of rounds. They'll go with a couple of deagles, but there's still money left on every single player. And I always find that impressive. I like it from a team that they have their game plan going into things, and they're still going to try and make things as costly as possible. Now, NiP, relatively safe buy, but, well, not safe for Forest, as his head is gone.
Still, trade comes through for Exist, taps onto the face of Yuho, and the rest of iGame left in a difficult spot, as now the A site's going to be under control of the Swedes. Freiburg pushed out and Get Right finds himself too. Nice transfer. The Sagaton's left alone. Stuck in the connector. Will be spotted in just a second. And he actually does pick up one kill with the P250, but that's only because Get Right's low. This should just be the closeout, and Exist will do so. It's NiP to pick up a 6th round, but they've got a long road ahead of them to close out this map. Whereas iGame only need a few more on the CT side, the favoured side. So one more eco for these Finns, and they'll be back on the buy.
And a decent buy as well. Making sure that they can invest whatever they want. Forest, after being domed in the previous round, is going to look to make some of that money back. He's got a Mac 10. Nade going to do a nice amount to Exist. Now, he is holding an AK, so has to be a little bit careful, because a dink here could be enough to take him out of the round. I say that, he goes down to 5 HP. Just about surviving. We will lose Forest. In the meantime, it really isn't his lucky day. He will die in both of these pistol rounds. But not for Freiburg. Calm and collected. 4 kills with the UMP. Nice amount of money made. And we will have an 11-4 scoreline. Definitely still workable, but this is the buy that we're looking at. AWP on both sides. Draken buying one up alongside that of Zori. And this is all the utility that most teams wouldn't normally have from the full force in the second round.
And NiP setting up instantly this round over towards the Ivy area. We have a bit of aggression from Yuho in response, pushed up to the edge of the smoke. And with no support here from an AWP, typically this position is played with the support. This could be dangerous. The AWP's instead posted towards connector, so not exactly the best position, but you can see it start to wrap. Sorry, moving in towards the site. Right now, NiP are looking to just put their focus down this Ivy, trying to get the pick. They can expect some kind of close player, at least in the first corner or the second. Yuho's got to be forced back by the Molotov, so more control gained from NiP thanks to that molly. Can allow them to start pushing down and attempt this split onto the A side of the map. There's still a Get Right down in the Pop Dog. There's Draken over in main. This is just your typical A split here with just Yuho to defend Ivy and the AWP on the correct side of the map at least.
Yeah, I do like this boost. 50 seconds on the clock, so still time for NiP to play with. X7. Close as well. Still a lot to be done. Sorry, actually going to miss the shot. Not able to do anything this time. Yuho, he's actually going to drop the bomb. They will be able to trade things back and regain control of it, but now the time does begin to tick away. 30 seconds left. He's going to go peeking into Draken, who's just held over in main at the moment, and they don't seem to be able to get anywhere near the site. 20 seconds is all they have left, and, well, they've got to find some sort of pick, because all of the CTs now remain in play. Exist. He's going to get himself one, but the time is just going away from them. The bomb is on the floor. There's only 10 seconds left, and although they're trying their best to get into this round, it's just not going to be possible. The second they go for the plant, Zori will end, and in fact, Saw finds Forest as well. iGame's first buy is a success.
7-12. NiP do have an attempt for a response, though, sorry. They pick up this one rifle round, the reset comes back on in, but still. iGame leading the board at this one. Their money is a little bit, limited in the sense that 7's going to be on a UMP, and we don't even have full nades here. But still, they have that AWP, and Zori's been doing work so far. Currently 16-9, second top of the scoreboard for his team, just trailing behind 7 on 20 and 13. We are going to be seeing NiP set up outside of B once again. This time only one player. That's Freiburg down the Ivy. It seems like we may just see a bit of a late B commitment, but the positions of these guys so far means they can easily go for that A take. With Draken over in A main and the rest of the players just outside of Pop Dog, they can easily drop down this ladder and go in towards the A side, but instead they're going to take it far more safely. Moving the bomb back towards main and going for the A side of the map, but this time a different route.
Down to that minute marker once again. Smoke. Blocking off some of the angles the CTs can hold. Once again, we're going to see Get Right take over this Pop Dog control, and the push from behind should give a lot of information out to the remaining CTs on the site. NiP. Oh, they're going to be ready for this push coming in from behind Get Right. He has absolutely no idea. It's Yuho again. This sneaky little Mink's going to go in. Gets one, gets two. This has just ruined this round. A third for Yuho as well. Freiburg will at least be able to get one. Forest with a second, bringing it closer once again. But the bomb, it always seems to be dropped. It's always in the open. This time, they will be able to collect it. But these bomb plant positions are going to be difficult. Forest has to make something work. Yuho will finally miss a shot with that AWP, but that's lovely stuff. Freiburg is down, the bomb's not being planted, and Forest is going to try and scuttle away to B.
No time to get this plant. Unless, okay, yes, there is. Forest isn't over. He's actually got the plant on the B site. That's good money now gained for NiP, but he's still got 3 more players to find. It's an intelligent play. There's so many forces of iGame coming back in to recontrol this site. Forest has to hit his shots. It's going to be Yuho and Sagaton first to face down towards this ramp as Forest holds the angle. Needs to be checking the right spot. Flash goes through. There's the first. Yuho was low though. And Sagaton going to be coming in the back. I don't think Forest expects a second player as he sits on top of the train. He'll walk right into it. Zori takes him from connector. And that'll be the round going to iGame. It's going to be 13. And they even have the kit as well. So not too bad. Another round for the Finns, and 2 together for iGame as well. We're not going to see NiP actually get that reset. So now, despite getting the bomb down, getting a bit more money, they're in a really awkward spot.
Looking like we're going to see a timeout once again from NiP. Now, in this sort of circumstance, they have enough to get a couple of AKs. They could drop an AWP if they wanted to. Would mean that Exist would have to go without any head armor, which definitely not the best case scenario when you're up against the M4s. They did some damage in the last couple of rounds, so the CT side haven't been able to build up a huge amount of cash either. So if they were able to force and win, then you have that sort of repercussion of basically sending the CT side to eco, and you can get yourself a little bit further back. Now, if they half buy, which I feel like is the safer option, just invest a little bit, make sure you have enough to buy off the sort of 2,400 you'll get in the next round. If they don't do enough damage, iGame get to 14, and they basically have to fight from there. So, yeah, they're going to go for it. AWP will be dropped. No head armor for Exist, no head armor for Freiburg. Utility going to be at a minimum, in fact. They're just going to face off with these rifles instead. Try to do as much as they can with it. And if they lose this round, well, they'll get a little bit of extra loss bonus, but iGame will look set to win this game.
So much pressure on this round. Very important one. And even if NiP pick it up, it's still a huge task to ask them to come back. iGame clearly upsetting in this face, but Draken is going to open things up on this T side. Does manage to take down Yuho quickly towards Ivy. It's Zori to peek out again to take down Forest in main. An aggressive stance here from NiP to try and burst away onto A. It's going to fail, so they will react with a bit of a replay. Saka close, one for him, but again the trade from Get Right utilising this UMP as he dances around the site. The bomb going down for Freiburg. And a 3v3, they're just trying to hold off on these rotations. iGame, they have the kits at least for the retake. They have the weaponry, or maybe not the best weapon for the job. They are going to at least attempt it. They've got a good spot. Zori picking up the first. Draken does fall. There's still Freiburg as well, but Zori takes 2, and 7 will even clean up Get Right in the meantime. So iGame, they get that retake, they get that defuse, and it will be a 14th round. NiP get crushed out. The only positive is the bomb plant, giving them a little more cash, but iGame, they're on the edge of match point.
Yeah, definitely looking... Oh, it's almost looking inevitable that they will take this. And once again, NiP are in a situation where they can't really buy, but they may be tempted to just based off the situation itself. And yeah, that's the exact case. It's UMPs, Tech 9s. Don't even think we'll see a single AK in play. Draken going to save a little bit of money for the next round, hoping that they can maybe get an AWP a bit later. He has been sort of struck by the economy that we've seen from NiP, not able to get that ult in quite as often as he'd like, and well, you can see it sort of on the board, hasn't been able to have anywhere near as impact as he would like. Zori almost getting taken down, but well, remains with more than half HP. Again, a big round for NiP if they're going to stay in this game.
As every round has been for the past few on this T side. They need to pick it up. Exist push towards Ivy. Yuho will open, but Exist trades and doesn't get tagged in the process, grabbing himself an M4 now to play with as he fast pushes out through Ivy. Smoke is down, but he wraps CT spawn and Zori's in position there. Molotov burning at his feet. These players haven't split onto A just yet. There's still 7 in the middle of it. The Draken's going to take him down. Sorda reacts with a double kill, spraying down the Ivy players. 2 now left for NiP. It's such a pivotal round. They need to get this bomb back, and Get Right will even spot him. But Draken takes the head off of Sora. Zori wraps in through the CT spawn, holding with the AWP. Draken going to have to be stuck. He's going to have to move out, but Zori flicks faster as Get Right left alone is going to be flanked. It's iGame to pick up 15 rounds and 1 away from the close.
I'm pretty sure that saw double kill came into Forrest not checking the angle properly. It looked like he tried to clear it just by sort of half peeking it, and instead him and his teammate get killed because of it. So still looking like there are holes in this NiP side, and while coming down to the 2v2, can't say I was surprised to see iGame win that clutch. They've won it every single time pretty much. Positionally, they've always had the advantage, and now, well, again, it's going to be weaponry advantage as well. UMPs, an AK, and some Galils, and it's going to be a fast push onto A.
Bursting out with no utility after they expended all of it trying to get themselves out. 7 will deny the first. Draken does trade, but Yuho still going to be able to get one up, and Zori from the heavens just shooting down on his prey. Get Right removed and leaving just 2. Both of them tagged so heavily. iGame are in such a great spot for the retake right now, and Exist in Freiburg. They're going to have to combine and put their energy together to pick this one up, and the Molotov forces them out. Yuho takes the first, and Sagaton will follow. It's going to be the close. iGame take the map 16-7, and I predicted it somehow, but what an incredible scoreline for the Finns to actually get ahead of the Swedes.
Yeah, a big showing from them. Of course, I think there's going to be more games coming up. Obviously, at the moment, it's sort of down to like the draw and stuff, so it will take us a little bit of time to get back in. For some reason, the scoreboard hasn't been updated either, but it was to iGame, so make sure that you are aware of that. And, well, basically what that means is we're just going to have a little bit of hiatus. You can, of course, tweet us if you like by typing !casters. Tell us what match you actually want to see. And, well, maybe we'll choose it. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll completely ignore you because we're horrible people. But either way, it's going to be a short break, and then we'll be back with another matchup. And maybe you can decide which one.
Vittu hyvä.